The small town of Amaji buzzed with life every morning. Motorcycles roared down the dusty roads, women sold fried plantain by the roadside, and the air always smelled of fuel and roasted corn. Among the people of Amaji, no one was more respected than Chief Clifford, the traditional ruler of the land. His compound stood proudly on a little hill, surrounded by tall palm trees and guarded by men in red caps. Chief Clifford had only one daughter, Rachel, a beautiful young woman with skin like smooth cocoa and eyes that held both kindness and strength. She was well educated and had just returned from the city after finishing her studies in sociology. The people admired her grace and intelligence. Many rich young men had tried to win her heart, but Rachel's mind seemed far away, like her heart was waiting for someone she had not yet met. Down in the heart of Amaji, near the old petrol station, worked a young mechanic named Unyime. His workshop was always filled with noise, metal clanging, engines coughing, and music playing from a small radio tied with tape. Unyime was known for fixing cars others had already given up on. He was humble, soft-spoken, and always ready to help anyone. Though his hands were stained with oil, his heart was pure. One hot afternoon, fate decided to bring their worlds together. Rachel was driving back from the market in her father's old Toyota Camry when the car suddenly stopped in the middle of the road. No matter how many times she turned the key, the engine refused to start. The sun was high, and sweat rolled down her forehead. Just then, she saw a young man walking towards her with a spanner in his hand. "Good afternoon, madam," Unyime greeted politely. "Do you need help?" Rachel smiled slightly. "Yes, please. The car just stopped. I don't even know what's wrong." Within minutes, Unyime bent under the bonnet, his hands moving like magic. He worked quietly, focused and calm. When he was done, the engine came back to life with a strong hum. Rachel's eyes widened with relief and admiration. "How did you do that?" she asked, smiling. Unyime chuckled. "It was just a loose connection, madam. Nothing serious." "Thank you," she said softly. "My name is Rachel." "Unyime," he replied, wiping his hands. "It's my pleasure, Rachel." From that day, something strange began to grow between them. Rachel found herself thinking about Unyime's simple smile and gentle manners. She would sometimes drive past his workshop, pretending her car was making noise, just so she could talk to him again. Unyime, too, felt something deep stirring inside him, something he had never felt before. But their world was not an easy one. One evening, as the sun set behind the palm trees, Chief Clifford sat outside his large house with the village elders. They were discussing an old prophecy told many generations ago. It was said that when the daughter of the crown joins hearts with the son of the soil, the land will face 3 nights of darkness. The elders had always believed it to be a warning that a royal child must never fall in love with a commoner, or great tragedy would strike the land. Chief Clifford laughed lightly, trying to hide the unease that grew in his heart. "Such old tales," he said, though his eyes betrayed a hint of fear. But when news reached him that his daughter was often seen around a mechanic, his calm face turned to thunder. That night, Rachel returned home to find her father waiting in the sitting room, his face stern. "Where have you been?" he asked sharply. "I went to see a friend," she answered softly. "A friend? You mean that mechanic boy Unyime?" Rachel froze. "Father, he's not—" "Enough!" Chief Clifford thundered, standing to his feet. "You are a chief's daughter. You will not shame this family by mingling with a poor mechanic." Tears filled Rachel's eyes, but she stood tall. "Father, he's a good man. He's honest, kind, and hardworking. Does it matter where he comes from?" "It matters," the chief shouted. "You don't understand the danger. There's a prophecy, an old curse that could destroy us all if you go on with this foolishness." Rachel was silent for a long time. Then she whispered, "Maybe love is stronger than a curse." Her father turned away, refusing to meet her eyes. That night, Rachel sat by her window, watching the moonlight fall over Amaji. In her heart, she knew she could not forget Unyime. Something about him called to her spirit, something pure, something true. Down in his small workshop, Unyime lay awake on his narrow bed, staring at the ceiling, the sound of the night, the crickets, the wind through the mango trees, all seemed to whisper her name, Rachel, Rachel. Neither of them knew that far away in the forest shrine, the priestess of Amaji had begun to stir in her sleep. Her eyes opened suddenly, and she gasped as a strange wind blew out her lamp. "The prophecy," she whispered to the shadows. "It begins again." Outside, a dark cloud gathered over the moon, and the wind grew cold. Love had awakened something ancient, and the land of Amaji would never be the same again. The following morning, the air in Amaji felt heavy, like the town itself was holding its breath. Chickens refused to crow, and the dogs barked at nothing. Old women whispered that strange things were happening near the river. Unyime woke up early ready to start his day when a young boy ran to his workshop, panting. "Oga Unyime, the priestess has called your name in the market square." "My name?" Unyime frowned. "Why would the priestess call me?" The boy shook his head. "She said the spirit spoke to her in the night. She said a shadow is coming, and you are part of it." Unyime felt his stomach tighten. He wiped his hands on a rag and walked towards the square. The townspeople had gathered around the old priestess, Mama Eze, who stood wrapped in a red shawl, her gray eyes wild and glowing. When she saw Unyime, she pointed at him with trembling fingers. "You, the son of the soil, the one who fixes what is broken. You have touched the heart of the daughter of the crown. Do you not know the curse?" The crowd gasped. Some people stepped back. Others whispered his name in fear. Unyime tried to speak, but his voice shook. "Mama Eze, I don't understand. I never meant harm." "The spirits do not care about your meaning," the priestess cried. 3 nights of darkness will come to Amaji. Fire will fall. The river will turn black. The curse will awake. Unless you end this love." The air went silent. Even the wind stopped. Later that day, Rachel came to see Unyime. She had walked all the way from the chief's compound, covering her face with a scarf. When she saw him, her eyes were full of tears. "Unyime, they're blaming you for things you didn't do. My father has forbidden me from seeing you again, but I can't stay away." Unyime held her hands gently. "Rachel, I don't care about curses or prophecies. I only care about you. If love is a sin, then let me be guilty forever." Rachel's heart trembled. She knew their love was dangerous, but the pull between them felt stronger than fear itself. That night, thunder rolled across the sky, though no rain came. The moon disappeared behind thick clouds, and a cold wind swept through Amaji. Inside the shrine, Mama Eze fell to her knees, her voice shaking. "It begins! The first night of darkness! At that same moment, the lights in the town flickered and went out. Cars stopped, phones went dead, even the stars seemed to vanish from the sky. Rachel looked out her window, fear in her heart. "Unyime," she whispered. And in his workshop, Unyime lit a lantern, staring at the road that led to the chief's compound. He knew she was afraid. He knew he had to find her, no matter the danger. As he stepped out into the dark, lightning flashed across the sky, and a strange figure appeared at the edge of the forest, watching him. The curse had awoken, and love was about to be tested by forces beyond their understanding.